Welcome back. It's Wednesday, and that means we're in the kitchen with this lady. You know Rania Harris. She's helping us make the most of the last of our garden harvest with 2 delicious fresh tomato recipes.
Oh, I am. And I know you're not a tomato lover.
But I feel like your recipes are probably good enough to change my mind.
There you go.
I'm open to the possibilities
Let
today.
me tell you a little story about tomatoes. Growing up, we were, as in our family and as Greek Americans, we stuffed everything. Zucchini blossoms, squash, tomatoes, eggplant. They were called papoutsaikia, green peppers. Because my grandmother had a huge garden. She lived in Monessen, which is down in the Mon Valley, steel town. My grandfather worked in the steel mill, as did all my uncles and my cousins. And my dad didn't, but because he was not born in this country, he had something else in his life. He was in food service. But my grandmother and grandfather had this garden, so whenever it came harvest time, anything that could be stuffed was. And I don't care what it was stuffed with. I mean,
whatever they had.
So we grew up stuffing tomatoes and green peppers and freezing them.
Oh, really?
Yes, because we had such a big harvest, and then you would just pull them out as needed during the winter, and you would bake them, and they were perfect because they didn't have to be gorgeous when they came out of the oven. So we never stuffed ours with sausage and fontina cheese. It was usually a ground beef mixture with rice. That's how we did it.
That's how I make my stuffed peppers at home in the crock pot.
There you go. So the same thing. So this is a little different, and as you can see, what I'm doing here is I am browning a sausage. Now you can do a sweet sausage or you can do a hot sausage. I'm doing a sweet today.
Okay.
It has a little fennel in it, which gives it a wonderful flavor. But the first thing is you have to cook it all the way through. Because once you put it in the tomato, which we'll talk about in a second, it's really in the oven. If it's raw, it's never going to cook.
Right, because you're not going to cook the tomatoes that long.
That's right. These are going to be in the oven for about 15 minutes. So I went ahead here and I got started. And I have my sausage cooked completely through. Okay. And that was a little bit of garlic. And here are some chopped shallots. So what you want to do here is, and there's enough oil, by the way,
from the sausage.
From the sausage. And really not a tremendous amount, which is good.
I'm surprised, even though there's enough oil in there, that you're not adding more olive oil.
Don't need to. Not in this instance. Look and look how nice this is starting.
It smells delicious.
People can't smell this. I wish they could. But the bottom line is you just want to get this onion and garlic on. So that's your job.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't burn.
I just wanted to sit here and smell it.
You can smell it. And I'm going back here and I can show you the difference. You have to really break this up.
Make sure it's,
And then I'll add a little garlic and I'll add some shallots to this when this is done. We'll let this go and let's talk about these tomatoes.
Okay. They're beautiful too.
Aren't
the shape of them are perfect.
They are perfect, and really and truly they sit very well in the pan. And you scoop them out, folks, but you want to make sure that you leave enough of the flesh that they won't collapse in the oven.
Okay, so you're not like completely taking out the whole side. Leave some of the seeds in.
And in this instance, now the way we made them at home, we would always take the filling and put them in here, but this recipe is a little different.
Okay.
But you do want to sprinkle the cavity that you filled out. And I want to tell you something else I did with a little salt. After I scooped out the flesh, I turned them upside down and let them drain on paper towels.
Oh, to get all that extra moisture out.
There's so much going
so
on in a tomato. So now I'm going to add in here just a little bit of pepper. And
this
now
is pretty simple.
it is very simple. And now what we're going to do, we'll move this aside.
Okay.
We'll take this, and thank you.
You're welcome.
Put this right in here.
Okay, great.
Okay. And I can put this, I think I'll just put it right back here. I think it'll be all right.
Okay.
I turned off the heat. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add in some panko breadcrumbs.
Great.
And we're going to add in some basil.
Ooh.
And we're going to add some fontina
pretty that basil
cheese.
looks.
It is, isn't it?
Like, am I scraping your finger? There we go.
This is some fontina. And then we're going to add in here some Parmigiano Reggiano. And if you wouldn't mind mixing all of that up for me as well as you can. Well, then you want to stuff the cavity of the tomato. Preheat the oven to 425 degrees. They're going to take about 15 to 20 minutes in the oven.
Because you've already, now I'm just,
Yeah.
without making such a mess, Heather.
Here,
Just,
right in here. I'll tell you what. Use this.
that might be better.
Okay, and it's easier if you also do it over.
The bowl?
Yeah.
Thanks. I wasn't sure if the bottom of it was hot. Now, are you packing? Do you want to be very careful not to?
No, I really want to pack.
Okay.
Now, that is a fabulous question. Do you know why you want to pack it and mound it?
Because the cheese is going to melt.
And everything shrinks, with the tomato shrinks
Okay.
too.
Okay, good. That looks so delicious.
So you do that. Now, I would put a little olive oil on the bottom of this pan.
Okay, just to make sure the bottoms won't stick.
And then you don't want to cover this. You want to bake them uncovered.
At 425 for how long?
For about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay. Well, stay with us. We're going to put these bad boys in the oven, take a quick break, and come back with more cooking with Rania to get our next tomato recipe, a tart
I can't wait.
ahead.